we needed $15 a year as the federal minimum wage. Well, in this couple of short 2 years, it's already accelerated. We need to have across the board minimum wage $17. And then some of the benefits that you were talking about may or may not be necessary, but it will sure move individuals a long way toward being able to afford the very basic needs: food, clothing, and shelter.
It is a unique experience that we've had as one of the former owners of Cafe Kilimanjaro. When I was paying our staff $10 an hour, and we were having meetings in the downtown business district, some of the other owners were saying, "You killing us." I said, "What do you mean? You killing us? You're paying people $10 an hour, and all of them want to leave from where they are and come and work for you." And I said, "Well, let me share something with you. The staff that's at Cafe Kilimanjaro, we have very few students. All those are family people. Some of them are grandparents, okay? So since they have to park, they have to have a way to get downtown. We were paying 10 an hour, and I had to learn this mathematical breakdown of this $3.75 an hour plus tips.
Right.
I didn't want to hear nothing about no tips because I know how people's attitude works with tips. But that $15, $17 an hour is there, and I tell you, it's going to get forced now because the UPSs of the world and the Amazons and all those people are going to be drawing all of the talented help they can find out of the market.
Right, because they're going to be because they're going to start paying a full wage for a full day's work.
Well, and the benefits are awesome. I mean, to be able to have an emergency reason to go to the emergency room and be treated and come out of one trip to the emergency room and end up with a bill for $385? Or why are we talking about VA benefits and co-pay in the same conversation? If a veteran is not at 30% disability rating and he gets medication in a year's time or monthly time, he'll end up with a copay. I despise VA and copay with a passion. I don't think it ought to ever be mentioned, but that is the truth. You can be a veteran and be below 30% and end up with a copay. So your money's going around in circles. If you're getting Social Security, you're getting a little bit over here and a little bit over there. And when you get through, it just wears you out. You still don't have anything else. And then you hope for food stamps or something. Or you have to have some kind of subsidized program to supplement what you do.
You know, the thing also, when you talk about ended up with food stamps, you and I are of the generation that we each probably remember food stamps, the little paper coupon booklets, I would call them, because you see, I carried them in my hands and in my pocket. My daughter's 36 years old now, but when she was 2 years old, you know, I was on the verge of losing everything. And I remember going to 6th and Cedar here in Louisville, Kentucky, and the unemployment office, and up on Broadway, at Broadway and Shelby, to the food stamp office to get my food stamps. I'm telling you, Shedrick, there's no shame in that, but there's no dignity in being able to walk in the grocery store and have to hand over those food stamps. And why do we have EBT cards that look the way they do? Because it is a step in helping to preserve some dignity on some level. However, it was not a good feeling. I don't know anyone, I've never met anyone that wants to be only on government assistance. Have you?
No, I really haven't.
Can we put that out there? And I am so sick and tired of hearing people talk about, well, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Well, what if you don't even have any bootstraps? How can you pull yourself up? That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And so many people want to say, well, I got where I am because I did all the hard work and I worked harder than everybody else. That's a bunch of malarkey, as my mother would say, or bull. Everybody needs to have a little bit of help here and there. And I know there are times in my life and in my career where people helped me along the way, and I'm sure people helped you along the way. I bet you, being in the military, I guarantee it, you had a drill sergeant that straightened you out from the very get-go, right?
Hey, I had to be straightened out.
Did you think they were helping you at the time?
No.
All right.
No, mentioning the military and food stamps,
Yes, sir.
most people don't realize how many active duty soldiers we have in families that need subsidized assistance. For some reason, they just assume if you're in the military, you're going to be, quote, taken care of. That's what I've been hearing.
Well, then
Okay?
everybody needs to pay attention to with a phenomenon that was brought forth in national attention just a few years ago about veterans experiencing homelessness. That should be an oxymoron. That should be impossible. How can a man or woman fight to protect our freedom and experience homelessness? This makes absolutely no sense. Oh, and there's been movements all across the country, and different governors and different mayors, including our current mayor, put forth a goal to eliminate homelessness for veterans. And they're claiming, several of them, that they have. Well, that's simply not true. And you know how I know that? When I get out here on the highways and byways and alleys and corners and viaducts and homeless camps just here in the little district that I represent, there are veterans in some of these homeless camps.
A lot of them.
And nobody in positions of power and authority that have the authority to do something about it want to admit it. It's true.
It is painful to have served your country, especially in foreign lands, and go through what we call third world.
Mm-hmm.
There is actually third world here in the USA. Nobody wants to say it that way, but there is third world in the USA.
Well, Shedrick, let me say this. There's third world in just a hop, skip, and jump from where we're sitting right now in this studio. Because the 9th poorest zip code in the entire United States of America was right here in Jefferson County, according to the census reports just a couple years ago. And I can remember when I started running for office and I was walking through the district. I think you know it took about 74 days to walk every alley and every street on both sides just to meet everybody in this district, because I felt that's what I needed to do before I could ask anybody to come along with me and let me lead and co-lead with them. And there were folks living in situations, and are living in situations, in Louisville, Kentucky, not far from where we are right now, in the depths of poverty. I'm talking about in places where raw sewage is running, there's exposed electrical wires, if they're even working, there's no plumbing, there's no hope of food, unless a nearby church comes to drop off something to eat. This is completely unacceptable. And we got to do something about it. So that's why I threw my hat in the ring. I'm willing to be held accountable.
Well, we are blessed to have a place at the California Community Center, 1600 West St. Catherine. And NAVETS normally has outreach people there on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10:30 to 1:30. And we are open for business. The man upstairs has blessed me to be on a positive journey recovering from my surgery and things. So those that know me know I only have one mission. I have approached and accepted NAVETS as my own ministry. That is what I do. So I don't serve on any boards. I don't want to be invited to be a part of anything. And I now can say no in about 7 different languages. So don't offer me anything, because I am not going to accept it. But thanks so much for you. You will be coming back. Our blessing is to have the airways now where we can reach out and express ourselves and give individuals an opportunity to reach a mass of people at one time.
And so, Shedrick, you once told me, and I have forgotten, what is the geographic region that you work with and represent for the National Association of Black Veterans?
I have Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee, Indiana, and Missouri.
Well, y'all heard it right there, loud and clear. Now, that's a job and a half.
Well, if you don't have any other detractors in the way, you can manage it by building a team of leaders so that everybody can have a role to play. There's no way that I can even claim to be able to do this alone. It is not that kind of mission. All I'm doing is disseminating information and inviting qualified people. I'm a recruiter. I coached for 40-some years. I was doing one and done before Patina Calipari even came to this state.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
Were you a basketball coach?
40-some years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes,
well, all
ma'am.
I can say is send me in, Coach. I'm ready to go.
It is a blessing. We're going to continue on with this mission, and I see it as being a launching pad and a blessing for us.
We're going to go wherever he leads and wherever he calls. You know,
Please come and help us. And when my choice was, and I suggested to my team that we go to California Community Center, they looked at me kind of funny. They said, "What?" And I told them, I said, "Well, it's space, there's accessibility, there's everything else. And there's nobody running over us wanting to stop us from being there. There's nobody guarding the door, not wanting us to get in. Now, since we've been there, it's become real popular. There's a lot of people coming to want to be there, okay? But the crossroads to freedom, I still say, is Louisville, Kentucky. We can do this.
yes, we can.
And my choice for the leadership of the United States of America in 2020 is going to cover the East Coast and the West Coast, with Louisville being right in the middle. At some point,
Well, you know what I always like to say, Louisville, Kentucky is the epicenter of the universe. You looking for an answer? Turn to Louisville.
Well, you want to put us off of here today, sir, so we can come back next time. We'll be back next week right on time, and hopefully we'll be ready to go and not messing up your platform. So what is happening without anybody knowing that I not only have this show here, but I have a show on Mondays available to you from 12 to 3.